immediate aftermath of 9/11, we did some things that were wrong. We did a whole lot of things that were right.
We've taken control of the oil in the Middle East, the oil that we're talking about.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create.
We choose truth over facts.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. The foothills of the Himalayas.
Television.
We are fighting Satan himself.
Journalists, ask them the question! Ask them! Ask them! Ask them!
Agreed that everybody, once they inside, they should... Anyway, my time's up. I'm sorry. America's dead.
That's right, folks. America is indeed dead. You let Larry tell you.
America's dead, and so is electoralism, folks. Welcome to another episode of Politically Homeless. This is Big Mad Rash, and I'm your host.
Big Mad Rash.
The Big Mad Rash, and I'm your host, Snow Himbo. I look like a pirate now. I feel like it's an improvement. I will be accepting comments and banning any criticisms. Thank you very much. And yeah, we're back. We got a lot of shits going on. We're edging closer to election, and everybody's getting just a little bit more psychotic every day. But we'll go balls deep right into it. But yeah, hi Larry. It's Larry Fink. Everybody, say hi.
The man who owns a multi-trillion-dollar business asset company, currently controlling the world and both parties. So it really doesn't matter who wins. Let Larry Fink tell you. Let Larry tell you.
That's right. It really, excuse me, my voice cracked. It really doesn't matter, because if this motherfucker is telling you it doesn't matter, we all know the corporate rule that lurches in a dark shadow over both parties. So if this guy's letting the cat out of the bag, first off, that's a really bad sign that he can just flex out in the fucking open this hard. Like, really? He's this confident at this point? Like, what do they have going on at Boston Dynamics now that he's just like, oh, there's going to be no guillotines for me. I'm good. I'm safe. But yeah, if I sound a little froggy or more bass in my voice, it's because I'm getting over a cold, which I acquired the second my stomach issues resolved, which is fucking just weird.
Oh, you have a rash too?
No, it's more of a mouth situation. I think I got it from you, actually.
Like rabies? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have rabies. Which explains a lot of things that might explain the communism. If you think about it, communism is just like a materialist version of rabies. But yeah, this is an actual fucking quote. If this right here, sorry, I gotta
some breaking news.
What up, though?
What up, though?
So look, I wrote down a few things I wanted to say. I love you too. Thank you.
Eminem, come on.
I'm here tonight for a couple of important reasons. As most of you know, the city of Detroit and the whole state of Michigan mean a lot to me. And going into this election, the spotlight is on us more than ever, and I think it's important to use your voice. So I'm encouraging everybody to get out and vote, please. I also think that people shouldn't be afraid to express their opinions. And I don't think anyone wants an America where people are worried about retribution or what people will do if you make your opinion known.
Yeah, it's a disaster out here, folks. It's pretty bad.
I'm sorry. I don't know if anybody else grew up watching MTV. Maybe all of y'all are younger than my ancient ass, but I don't know. You guys tell me. Is it not just weird seeing Eminem of all people?
Oh yeah, no, it's awful. It's terrible.
Eminem of all people, the guy who everybody
Do you
thought
remember
was
the coffee pot?
dude. I remember fucking. Do you remember Criminal? That song, Criminal. Like, oh my god, that song. You could not get away with that song today. You'd be instantly canceled. This guy is caping for Kamala Harris. He's a shit lib. Eminem is a shit lib. You're telling me Eminem is a shit lib? Like my brain cannot handle this information. Wait, are we gonna get clapped?
This is about Donald Trump.
That's an awfully hot coffee pot. That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it on Donald Trump? Probably not.
I know, but still, it just...
It's the calm before the storm right here. Start on Donald Trump? Probably not, but that's all I got till I come up with a solid Donald Trump. That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it on Donald Trump? Probably not, but...
Oh my god, guys.
I'm sorry,
that's an awfully hot coffee pot. That's an awfully hot. He's gonna drop another diss track this year, you think?
Eminem, I'm still not getting over Eminem being like basically like a grown-up version of Harry Sisson. How the fuck did this happen? Did they get him? Do you think they have do you think they got dirt on him? Like he's on those he's on that Epstein client list. He
was doing drugs for a long time.
I wonder what his stance
on
is.
I'm gonna pull this up. Let me get it. I gotta refill my water because I'm an amphibian.
You should have done that before we went live.
I know I should have.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Jesus. Anyway, hi guys. You just got to look at my shitty face now. I'm sorry. But yeah, we got a jam-packed show for you today. But one of the main themes I'm happy to announce is here on the Indie News Network. Everybody talks about being post-duopoly. But we're going to get into it tonight. We're here at the Indie News Network. We're proud to be post-electoralism. Post-no vote. Like Post Malone, but post-no vote. I came up with that, and I'm very fucking proud of myself. But yeah, the sooner we all stop believing that the magic vote fairy is going to give us a living wage and healthcare and gay luxury space communism, that one of these might not be the other, it may just be wishful thinking on my part, but I digress. The sooner we stop believing that the vote fairy is gonna float in and shit out some treats, some material cookies for y'all, the sooner we can get serious about getting some actual fucking action done. And we're gonna be covering that a lot in the post-election period. Because whether or not it's McDonald Trump, to quote the great Peter Coffin, I'm so mad at him for coming up with that before me. I'm so fucking mad. Goddamn, I'm upset.
What?
Or Kamala Harris, Captain Cackles, regardless of who gets in.
I think it's Trump.
It's gonna fucking suck.
And I'm not even I from a completely neutral perspective, I really think Trump. Dude, you can't conjure a campaign in a month and then just run on that. That doesn't happen.
You can if you don't actually live in a democracy.
No, you can. But that's what I'm saying. Like it's Trump. Otherwise, it's like 100% it's stolen. Just like last year. But
I don't. Here's the thing. I don't even think they get stolen. I think the person is just selected. I think this whole election.
Yeah, no, the whole thing is an illusion. It's not.
This is just a fucking audition. At the end of the day, I firmly believe that the bourgeoisie are the ones who go, I think we want this to be our brand ambassador. I think they look at it the same way as like a mascot or like a spokesperson, if you will, like Tony the Tiger for Cheerios. Wait. No. Tony the Fruit Loop. No, that's the fucking shitty bird.
Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes. Yeah. There we go. My brain is that scrambled.
Don't eat Kellogg's though, guys. Kellogg's is really bad for you.
Yeah, it's got the seed oils, brother. But I really think that's how this bullshit works. I think at the end of the day, it's an audition for who's going to be the face of Empire, and I think the carrot dangling in front of the stick for the people who are running is essentially like, hey, you get to be the face of, the presidency. You get all these perks, and then when you get out, you can just do speaking tours for millions of dollars. You're a celebrity. You have fame and fortune. It's basically a narcissist contest. I firmly support that. But I digress. So we do have a shitload of news for all y'all.
Mm-hmm. Whatever you want to get into first. I mean, do you want to save Green MAGA for last, or?
We got to save Green MAGA for last because I have a lot of choice fucking words. I got a lot of choice words, and I'm going to burn a lot of bridges doing it. But if that means I have to inject people with some cognitive dissonance and wake them up from this electoral nightmare fever pitch, then so be it. I will hoist myself upon that proletarian petard. Petard? Qatar. Petard. It's a petard. Yes. I'm recovering from an illness. That's why I'm extra stupid today. Also, Himbo's in my name, so you can't ever make fun of me for that. Thank you.
And I just had this up.
You lost it.
It was the Meta Chief. It was the Meta Chief, and who else? What was the third topic? I don't remember. Is there a third one?
Meta's new.
Oh no, that's it. That's it. Yeah, just the Intercept. Yeah.
There we go. All right. Well, take it away whenever you want, and then I'll lead us into the promised land, so to speak.
So, what is her name again? Diaspora.
By the way, just a quick aside, the biggest thing I hate about this whole Trump does the McDonald's bullshit, I've had a craving for those stupid, awful, shitty fries for like a week. It's been atrocious.
Dude, it's so bad for you.
I know.
So bad for you.
No, they're the salt, not even the salt safe. They don't even use normal salt. It's got like a fucking carcinogen in it. But like ever since they just like kept showing McDonald's bullshit, and we got a kickback somewhere for that. Ever since they just started showing Fatty in his little apron jiggling around the drive-thru area, all I've wanted all week is McDonald's fries. And I might actually cave and get them on Friday and then die Saturday. That's my plans.
So, in case you were wondering why you keep on getting your posts banned on Facebook, and Facebook censorship has been awfully way worse than Twitter has been kind of like more or less the Wild West of social media these days. Threads there's nothing on there. Instagram is the same thing. So Instagram and Facebook, we if you're wondering why you keep getting censored, we had a story that came out today that really just tells it all. If you're wondering why, it's because the Meta's quite literally being run by the Mossad. That's literally her. She's been working for Israel her entire career. Now she works for Facebook.
And by the way, whenever you see in the title something that just says Jewish, there's a good chance all it means is Zionist. because as we know by now, they just use they just stole Jewish people's identity and they used it as a shield for all the bullshit their insane government's enacting. So sorry to all our Jewish comrades, but solidarity forever for you guys speaking out, because you're the most important voices out there in this fight.
A former Israeli government official now working as Meta's Israel policy chief personally pushed for censorship of Instagram accounts belonging to Students for Justice in Palestine, a group that has played a leading role in organizing campus protests against Israel's ongoing war in Gaza. Internal policy shows discussed and reviewed by The Intercept shows Jordana Cutler, Meta's Israeli and Jewish diaspora policy chief, used the company's content escalation channels to flag for review at least 4 SJP posts, as well as other content expressing stances contrary to Israel's foreign policy. When flagged for Student for Justice in Palestine's post, Cutler repeatedly invoked Meta's dangerous organizations and individuals policy, which bars them from freely discussing a secret list of thousands of blacklisted entities. It's unclear if Cutler's attempts to use Meta's internal censorship systems were successful. The company declined to say what ultimately happened to Cutler and what Cutler flagged, but it was Cutler's decision whether the flagged content is ultimately sponsored or not. The Intercept expects alarmed over a senior employee tasked with representing the interests of any government advocating for restrict user content that rules contrary to those interests. It screams bias. A policy advisor within the digital rights organization Access Now consults with Meta on content moderation issues, says it doesn't really require that much intelligence to conclude what this person is up to. It really doesn't. It's public. It's crazy. They say it out loud, and it's literally on LinkedIn. Half this stuff is on LinkedIn. I'm telling you right now. Just the other day, we found out Sophia Patel of the Labour Party. The Labour Party in the UK, they're openly participating in election interference. They're straight up. They're straight up just. There's literally, if you just go on LinkedIn, you could find all of this stuff out in the open. And I don't know why they decide to make this so public, but it is. That's the reality of it.
The Labour Party. Hey, what organization is he affiliated with again? Some kind of forum, I'm pretty sure. It'll come to me.
Cutler joined Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, in 2016 after years of high-level work in the Israeli government, including several years at the Israeli embassy, Washington, D.C., a campaign advisor of the Likud party and Netanyahu. Cutler states explicitly that she acts as a liaison between Meta and the Israeli government. 2017, Cutler told the Israeli business outlet Cataclysm that Facebook works very closely with cyber departments of the Ministry of Justice and the police, with other amounts in the army and Shin Bet. We're not experts. They're in the field. This is their field. A 2020 profile in the Jerusalem Post described Cutler as our woman at Facebook. Represents Israel's interest in the target most active social network in the world. In an interview with the paper, she explained, "My job is to represent Facebook to Israel and represent Israel to Facebook."
Oh, man.
Facebook's policies and thinks Facebook is asking that because it gives me an
Facebook, Israel, and the Jewish diaspora. You said that you represent Facebook to Israel and Israel to Facebook.
3 years ago.
What does that mean exactly? What does it mean to represent Israel to Facebook?
Thank you so much for asking that because it gives me an opportunity to explain to everyone really how I see my job. First, my job, of course, here in Israel and with Jewish communities around the world is to explain Facebook's policies and things Facebook is doing in terms of improving things on our platform, things that we would like to do, and really positive initiatives that we're doing. But on the other hand, inside the company, part of my job is to be a representative for the people here in Israel, and the voice of the government for their concerns inside of our company. Our policy teams are located in many different countries around the world, and we want to make sure that we know what's happening on the ground. We can't do that if we're only sitting in California. So we have teams of people made up of, people like myself who are speaking on behalf of many different countries and communities. And in my case, that means people here in Israel and the Jewish diaspora.
Do they listen?
Of course they do. And I think that's one of the most exciting parts about my job is I have an opportunity to really influence the way that we look at policy and explain things on the ground. One of the best examples of that, for example, is the recent policy update that we did on harmful stereotypes, which is a way that we wanted to make sure that we're really focusing our work on anti-Semitism in a much better way. And so what we did was listen to Jewish communities around the world and make changes to our policies so that we were impacting the way that people feel on Facebook.
This was before October 7th, guys.
This actually also connects a lot of dots because I have a couple friends on Facebook who have spoken out who've just spoken out not even like aggressive towards not even combative towards Israel, but just kind of they're just talking about we want Palestine to be free, solidarity with the Palestinian people. One of them got banned, and two of them had got timed out because Meta just went and just scrubbed their shit and just took down their posts. So this makes a lot of sense in the wake of the ongoing genocide, why I'm at least seeing, I don't know about you guys on Facebook, I only use it to talk to, I mostly only use Facebook for Messenger.
Me too.
I don't really use it. I'll shit post funny memes to friends and family, but really it's just a communication tool. I don't post anything political on there. Just because it's mostly because I feel at this point it's just a trap. I feel like that place is so astroturfed and so locked down that it's I don't want to lose my ability to message my fucking sister just because I don't know, posted something too radical for Zuck and his army of Ziobots, so to speak. But yeah, that fucking tracks. Goddamn does that track.
According to a source familiar with Color's actions, these efforts have included lobbying for the deletion of posts quoting celebrated Palestinian novelist Ghassan Kafani, who served as a PFLP spokesperson for nearly 60 years ago and was assassinated by Israel in 1972. Internal records show Kaler lobbied for the removal of an SJP Instagram post describing Leila Khaled, an 80-year-old former PFLP member who helped hijack TWA Flight 840 in 1969. It has been decades since becoming an outspoken icon of Palestinian solidarity. And these same records demonstrate Colors have regularly singled out on Instagram content belonging to SJP at the University of California, Los Angeles, claiming to policy colleagues that this chapter has been associated with violent protests. Citing an Israeli news report by April 29th, and Neil Mileh, the school's Gaza solidarity encampment. Records show that Color has requested the deletion of non-student content too, following Iran's October 1st missile attack against Israel. Color quickly flagged a video uploaded to Instagram of Palestinians cheering from the Gaza Strip. Records show Color has also repeatedly lobbied to censor the Instagram account of Lebanese satellite TV network of Al Mayadeen, which posted in sympathetic content about the assassination of Hezbollah leader Nasrallah. These actions are typical Jordana, according to Zitoun, Facebook's former Middle East and North Africa policy chief. No one in the world could tell me that a lot of this, what she does, is not overreach of her authority. If I was head of public policy of Jordan, I went on TV and said I represent the interests within Meta, I would be fired the second day," said Zaytoun, a Jordanian national whose mandate at Meta was to oversee a whole of the Middle East and North Africa. That's the job of a North government employee, a political employee. None of us were ever hired with the premise that we're representing our governments. During his tenure, Zaytoun says that he often fielded informal requests from the government of Jordan and that he drew a clear line on acting on his behalf. The Jordanian government hated my guts when I was there because they thought that I was obliged because I'm a Jordanian. I might guide you. I might be over-friendly. If you call me at night, I might accept your call. But at the end of the day, Facebook pays my salary. BuzzFeed News reported in 2017 that Facebook employees had raised concerns about Cutler's role and whose interests she prioritizes, evidenced by an argument over whether the West Bank should be considered occupied territories in Facebook's rules. Zaytoun recalled this clash as emblematic of Cutler's tenure, adding that when he was there, she tried to influence decision makers within the company of designating West Bank as a disrupted territory rather than using the term occupied. Zeta doubted the Meta spokesperson's claim that all internal escalations are treated equally no matter who submits them. Recalling that his time working in a high-ranking role at the company, he said, his complaints received immediate attention. My report goes to the top, he said. He expects the same would be true contact flagged by Cutler, especially at the moment when Israel is at war. I'm sure all he reports is code red. Emerson Brooking, a resident of the senior fellow of the Atlantic Council's Digital Forensic Research Lab, was reminded of the case of Venki Das, a former Facebook policy head for India, another rare instance of which a single country had been its own dedicated representative within the company. Resignated from her position in 2020 after a Wall Street Journal report found that she lobbied for the unseen enforcement of hate speech rules that benefited India's ruling of the Hindu Nationalist Party. No governments in the world have been able to create a network of influence and pressure on Meta as strong as the Israeli and Indian governments. It's funny how they kind of like come together a lot of the time. But
yeah, up here in Canada, we've got a lot of shit swirling around about Indian infiltration of our governments. I'm not sure what exactly to make of it at the moment, but I am planning on doing a deep dive for Maple Files next week. But yeah.
Her colleague Joel Kaplan was served as the White House deputy chief under Judge W. Bush, who joined Facebook in 2011 to head the company's operations in Washington, D.C.
Oh my.
As recently as February 2023, Cutler's name was floated as a possible next head of Israeli Strategic Affairs Ministry, a government propaganda office tasked with surveilling and undermining protesters and activists abroad. The ministry has reportedly made extensive use of Meta's platforms to infiltrate student groups and conducted propaganda campaigns. In June, Haaretz reported that a project originally founded by the ministry had targeted black lawmakers in the U.S. with hundreds of phony Facebook and Instagram accounts, which is already a thing. The IDF has like bot farms. Evelyn Duick, a content moderation scholar and professor at Stanford Law School, said Cutler's direct intervention is obviously extremely concerning given the specific stakes. If a person inside Meta representing the interests of a government on an issue which is their deeply uncontested political debate, it appears, to favor one side of that debate. The concerns about bias and disproportionate enforcement of a policy when that is happening seem obvious. However, the Meta spokesperson said that Cutler's role in public policy is distinct from the company's content policy officials, noting that former engage with the governments but do not actually have a role in drafting rules. In a Jerusalem Post interview, however, Cutler stated, I'm part of the team who are helping develop and build Facebook's policies. Just helping. We're just helping. We're helping them, crush down on kids protesting genocide. That's all.
It's for your safety. Go back to that.
We're just helping. We're helping. It's for your good.
It's for your own
People
well-being.
don't understand that. We're.
How many times do we have to say? How many times do we have to say this is for your good?
Exactly.
Before you believe us.
Exactly.
Just believe us this time.
Just trust the science.
Just trust the science. Indeed. Oh, fuck me. We're so cooked. Guys, we're so cooked. And this is always the trajectory they were going to take. Just for the record, this was always the trajectory they were going to take. The second that uncomfortable truth started spilling out on Facebook, and we all saw when it started really ruffling feathers, because we started seeing those fact checks. We started seeing those little disclaimers at the bottom of like shit posts on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, where it's like misleading information. Go here if you want to hear the approved experts on the topic. The second they started seeing people contradicting their narratives that they wanted the public to believe, the second they saw propaganda actually get clapped back in real time, that's when the shit all started. And this is where we're at. We're at the point where they are going to, and Twitter as well, they're coming for that. They already have been. It's just, for all of his stupidity, Elon's been clever about his censorship a little bit. It's less like completely in your face, fuck you, obvious. But they're coming for social media. They want this whole place clamped down upon to the point.
It already came for your McDonald's fries.
Yeah, they already.
It's already the guys. Fascism is here. That's why you have to accept the fact that you're in fascism. You're currently in a state of fascism.
It's been here for a while.
Yeah, I know. The sooner that
they're just really selling you that that's not what's going on.
Yeah, like the sooner that people can grasp that, the sooner that we can actually get started on solutions. But like, I don't think people have like truly understood that yet. That's why we're caught up in the whole Green Party shit, which we're going to talk about. But
so again, there's things that we can do in terms of removing.
This is an event sponsored by the World Jewish Congress. Just admitting out loud that this is just whatever makes Jewish people feel unsafe, which could be anything from denying the Holocaust to protesting children dying on a mass scale, tens of thousands of children dying. So I mean, you know, it's for your good. We have to help people, you know, understand. It's you people can't hear what people are actually saying. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
One of the privileges I have in my role, which I created very uniquely, I don't think there's another person in a tech company with the title Jewish Diaspora. I'm very happy for.
They think it's funny. By the way.
Some competition.
Oh, and just to answer.
We have this guy in the back, like he's like he's I don't know, he's like, I guess he's like dressed like as Ozzy Osbourne for Halloween.
No, he's the party's necromancer. He's there in case, you know, they come into a fight and they need some extra backup. He can, once you slay some enemies, he can reanimate them as, you know, bone warriors. I see him. I see the motherfucker. Just to answer Rick, for those who don't know this about Canada, we also call them quarter pounders, even though we have the metric system. So that's a little fun fact. The metric system, that might be why they call them that in France, a la Pulp Fiction, but it doesn't translate over here in Canada, despite us using Celsius, meters, centimeters, millimeters, etc.
Yeah.
Try. But one of the privileges I get in that job is to really sit with Jewish communities around the world and think about how can I empower what they're saying on a local level and figure out how we can on a global platform find answers to that. And some of that is definitely working on those content issues that you mentioned earlier about removing content that is hate speech or targeting Jews or things that make Jewish people feel unsafe. And we spend a lot of time working with partners around the world to make sure we're getting it right, whether having things like Holocaust denial and distortion not allowed on our platforms, having a very nuanced policy on not allowing even harmful stereotypes of saying Jews run the world called out as hate speech, always looking at code words like you mentioned earlier and making sure to update our policy. So we spend a lot of time on that. And I think it's important just to mention that. But also, how can we use our product to drive people to authoritative information about issues like the Holocaust? So one of the partnerships I'm really proud of is one that we have with the World Jewish Congress and UNESCO. So any people on our platform that search for terms about the Holocaust or Holocaust denial are given a box that explains what the Holocaust was. So we take that real estate opportunity right there on your phone to tell you what it was, and then we encourage you to
Real
leave
estate
Facebook
opportunity.
and go to this website that
Okay.
has factual information.
Alrighty.
And so again,
Whatever
there's
the
things
fuck
that we can
that
do in
means.
terms of removing content, but then also pushing good information to people. And that's on the Facebook side of things and Instagram. Then we can think about, you know, you mentioned Anne Frank, what can we do in our new platforms? What can we do when we're looking at the future, not just of VR, virtual reality, but also augmented reality, AR, and then XR, which is mixed reality. So in all of these different formulations of what we look at as the metaverse, what can we be doing?
And guys, that's on purpose too. And I wish I could do like a you know, a bigger deep dive on that. But shaping reality. Once the metaverse becomes more regular and like we're gonna like experience like a time, I'm not saying it's soon, but like, you know, they're really testing the boundaries of this virtual reality and AR shit. So once it becomes more mainstream, which it kind of is, I mean, at least it's like, you know, a Silicon Valley trend right now. And you know, once they really sell it to the public, once they're able to sell it to the public, then you're going to see propaganda on a whole different level. Once they can, because it doesn't matter where you get your information from at that point. Once they can change your perceptions of things in real time, then that's all that matters.
Does it still look like an incomplete PlayStation 2 game? Because the last time I checked out Metaverse, it looked like the hottest pile of dog shit. It looked like one of those shitty games I played back in the day when I did So Bad It's Good, where I would just play like the worst rated games on Steam, and they were just like acid, like jumbled messes of people fucking around in Unity for the first time. Oh god. With the technology out,
I'm like,
this
is 2 years ago though. I don't know if this counts.
I gotta ask. With all the technology out here, with the realism,
and all the billionaires, they roast each other. Like, I bet like this is.
What are your thoughts on the metaverse, which like takes technology to the next level and puts us in like a virtual world? Like, do you see that as being dangerous, hopeful for humanity? Like, what's your view on that?
Maybe we're in the metaverse right now. It's just metaverse is all the way down. I don't see someone strapping a friggin' screen to their face all day and not wanting to ever leave. It seems no way. Yeah. I mean, does it feel like that to you? It doesn't seem like that to me. Yeah. It's like it gets uncomfortable to have this thing strapped to your head the whole time.
It definitely needs to be lighter.
Yeah, if it was like super light, it'd still be like, I don't know.
See what he means though. Like, read between the lines there. Because this is the guy that designed.
I hadn't tried the Vision Pro for a while. Apple wasn't going to rush to give me one. But I expected that for a device that was $3,500, ours is $500. I kind of thought theirs would be better at a bunch of things than ours, but ours would still be the better value for most people, given that it's 7 times less expensive. When I actually got a chance to try theirs out, I was like, wow, ours isn't just the better value, it's the better product. I just saw all the media coverage around this, was just sort of breathlessly assuming because it's Apple and because it was such an expensive product, it must be the better one in quality, even though a lot of people were saying, hey, no, you should probably go buy Quest 3 because it's a better price. And I just wanted to kind of put my flag down and say, just because this thing costs 7 times more, it doesn't mean it's better. If you actually go use case by use case on this thing.
The meta glasses, that's a part of it. This is a part of the propaganda network.
But
this is the control. This is the control of the narrative. This is how you get a hold of your public. And I think Immortal Technique kind of said it best. Like, when you're living in an empire, in an imperial empire, when you're present in this country as a citizen, you're not really like a welcomed citizen in like any like regular Western country. You're more like a plus one at a party with people like you don't know. And it's like And managing an empire like from the face of like elites is like having a giant party and trying to like manage the people who, you know, you don't want there. That's population control.
Well, I mean,
but
if there's a giant party and nobody wants me there, that's perfect because I can just go home. I don't want to talk to any of these fucking people anyway. But before I forget,
you live at the party. That's the problem.
Before I forget,
it's like a big party that no one's invited to.
Okay. Before I forget, I just want to point out something that Elon focused on when they asked about Meta. This guy's talking about not Meta as a concept, but the worst element of Meta to him is the fact that you have to strap some shit to your face. What is Elon Musk designing right now? Neural implants. So, just saying. It's just a weird, of all the things about Meta that you could be concerned about, the whole like having to use an external thing that's uncomfortable, that's quite weird. Because I'd first say like, oh, well, you know, it's horrifying because obviously these virtual worlds will be controlled most likely by the rich and powerful. And if we are to exist in these virtual worlds, then they have total control as opposed to the lack of total control they have over our meat space lives. That would be a concern, for example. But he's concerned about the peripherals of the matter, which I find just very, very, very curious. But yeah, that was
that's all I have for that.
That was scary. That was really scary. I pooped my pants a little. There's some poop in my pants because of that. I hope you're happy.
I'm pooping right now.
You're pooping right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're both pooping then. Welcome to politically home.
Politically.
Politically.
Maybe that's how we fix it. That's
politics.
Pooletariats. Poopletariats.
The pooletariats.
The pooletariats.
All right, everybody. I gotta have a discussion with all of y'all. And I'm gonna ruffle some feathers, but I'd really appreciate if everybody just heard me out here because we have some developments that happened recently with the Green Party. Now, I'm going to make a disclaimer just so people don't. A lot of the Green MAGA people have already taken me as a Trumper or a liberal or a anarchist or a like Fed. I've gotten called all the names in the book already. So I'm going to make my position very clear. Okay. Obviously, I think the Green Party's policies are pretty fucking based. They're a lot better than any other choice, and it's not even close. They're Jill's the only candidate talking about genocide.
And who cares about Chase Oliver? Who the fuck is that guy? I'm pretty sure I don't even know what his position on Israel is, and you know what? I don't care. No one cares.
No.
Who the fuck is that guy from the Libertarian Party?
Oh God. The age of, I just call it the age of consent party. That's all you got to talk about. But I digress. So I'm making this disclaimer to say, okay, that I don't dislike the Greens. I think on paper they are objectively the best like known option, so to speak. However, my issue is that if the party itself does everything within its power to redirect all of your revolutionary fervor and all of your post-duopoly energy to a new containment of sorts, where you're just happily instead of pursuing other means that may more directly result in improvement to your material conditions, then they're fucking useless. Also, if they are spending all of their time doing nothing but sabotaging themselves, as I'm about to fucking show you, then they are equally as useless. So now that I've got that disclaimer out of the way, so when people get their backs up, they're going to remember that I'm not just some wrecker guy.
And I don't like all of their policies. Like, I don't like a lot of the green shit. Like, I'm not really. I mean, like, I like green stuff. Like, I mean, I like clean air and clean water, but like the carbon stuff is like kind of like the energy. So, I mean, that I can get down for. I mean, it's, you know, and also COVID too. Like, Jill was bad on COVID, if you remember. But like, you know, there's you know, there's layers to this shit. I mean, she's a lot better than Howie Hawkins. God, fuck Howie. That Howie was like a straight up CIA plant. That's how you know, like, Jill is like, at least like, that's like the best you're gonna get from this like spat up like fascist system.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. There's been a lot of developments with the Greens, and I want you guys to remember the timing, how close we are to an election right now, how the Greens have arguably gotten more movement and traction this cycle than I think I've ever seen before personally. I didn't see this kind of energy. I didn't see this kind of juice for them back in 2016. I didn't see this kind of juice, well, at all, with the whole vote for the carcass or vote for the fat carcass with fascism. I didn't see juice at all. I saw a lot of juice. Jill was like up there. She was doing the rounds. So some developments happened. We're going to break the whole fucking thing down for you. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into it.
And they have good momentum this year too, like especially with like the whole genocide they got going on. And so they have a whole coalition of Arab Americans behind them right now. I mean, Abandon Harris has endorsed them.
Yeah.
You know, this is the argument that people are making, at least. But
yep. Yeah. We have I'm not going to call people out directly, but y'all will know who you are. There's a lot of people, basically. I'll get into this and then I'll kind of give my take. So this happened, I'm going to do math, about 5 days ago. So I want you guys to point out which one of these is not like the other. Well, the tragic loss of life, limb, and liberty of the Palestinian, Sudanese, Lebanese, Uyghurs, Congolese, and other peoples must be centered at all times. The imperialist genocidal order imperils us all, physically, not just spiritually, because they are mass polluting events. Now, I don't know about you, Greg, but one of those kind of seems less like a verifiable situation and more like, I don't know, classic fucking imperialist propaganda. I don't know, guys. What do you think?
it's because they're Muslims and Butch is, you know, Muslim. And
oh no, we're coming. We're coming for this completely.
Yeah, like
so.
Julia, let's figure this out. I mean, it's that whole thing comes from like one person, like Adrian something. Adrian, I forgot his name.
Yeah. So Butch here drops this 5 days ago, and this spiraled to a point where it's like, in case there was any second guessing, in case there was any like reason for nuance, he completely just took a dump on it completely. I said completely too many times. So first off, this is going to be a little limited because he started fucking hiding posts that were like ratioing him or like getting a lot of likes. So this one, if memory serves, was something along the lines of like, stop repeating imperialist lies. And he goes, stop caping for Chinese racists. I've sat with Uyghurs myself who directly suffered. Get lost. Uyghurs, are you joking? Just casually name-checking State Department propaganda? These comments aren't all wrong. Maybe do some research and rethink your position on the CIA talking points. Spirit of Ho, that's our friend of the show, Danny Haifong. He's been doing a lot of great work. We're going to show a bit of it, but he actually went over there in China just to be like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm going to go over there and show people to their face using their eyeballs that this is actually just psychotic CIA garbage. Adrian Zenz, there it is. I knew someone would drop it out. I will not vote for a party that repeats the bullshit State Department Adrian Zen's false narrative about the Uyghurs. Please educate yourself about foreign-funded extremist terrorism that preceded all of this. The whole thing is a transparent attempt to destabilize / balkanize China. Fail. To which tragic loss of life, limb, and liberty of the Uyghurs are you referring? Uyghurs, what? Are you playing along with that nonsense? So, just to kind of put it in perspective, this dude got fucking cooked. He got absolutely cooked.
Well, he turned off the replies. That's what happens when you turn off the replies.
And then this asshole summoned Chen Weiwa, which was really rude. I mean, what the fuck? This guy blocked him. We gotta block this guy, okay? I'm gonna follow him. Actually, he's pretty handsome.
I wonder what he thinks about Taiwan.
I mean, I think we know, right? I think when it comes to Taiwan, he's going to frame it in a way that it's like, well, the Taiwanese are just like the Palestinians. Like, I saw one comment that I didn't see, but he was like, you thought you were pretty slick slipping the Uyghurs in there, didn't you? And it's like, this is kind of what they do. This is one of the worst false equations I've ever seen someone who claims to be anti-imperialist do in their entire fucking lives. Like, oh my fucking God, this is bad. But I digress. We're gonna keep going. So he doesn't stop there, just so everyone's aware. He doesn't stop there. He goes on a fucking rampage. I lived for years in Senegal and spoken in Wolof, which I speak fluently, for decades with African socialists who bitterly complain about exploitative elements of Chinese capital in Africa and Chinese anti-black racism. China is not utopia. And I've seen a lot of cope from people who are being like, he didn't talk about the Uyghurs being genocide, because first off, yes, he did. He made a direct one-to-one comparison in one sentence. But I'll show you when he walks it back too. Two, now he's moving the goalpost to China's not utopia. And I'm seeing a lot of the same talking points from the Green Party cultists, where they're like, oh, well, you tankies. I'll show the unhinged comments in a bit. But essentially the narrative is like, you tankies think China's perfect. And I argue this, okay? I don't think China's a utopia. I think it has a lot of work to do. I don't think there's a utopia that exists as a country in the world right now. I don't fucking think it's possible. We have to move beyond late-stage capitalism, for one. That's my honest belief. Two, nobody's arguing China is a utopia or not. They're arguing that Uyghurs are not getting genocided, and it has been thoroughly debunked by more people than I can even fucking count at this point. To the point where if you're repeating this stuff in 2024, like forget turning off your replies, you should just delete your whole fucking account. Because if you're sitting here LARPing, if you're sitting here LARPing as an anti-imperialist and you're barfing out this degree of like imperialist propaganda, I'm sorry, you're fucking worthless. But that's beyond the point. Because the point I'm trying to make is that, again, look at the timing here. Okay, I mentioned all the juice the Greens were getting. I mentioned all the rounds Jill was making. I mentioned how close this is to an election. And I'm going to show you how fucking bad this gets, because it doesn't stop there. Because of course it doesn't stop there. And he's finally moved on after he, I don't know, realized he did his fucking job. He decides to wage war against leftists. Leftists are the only religious group that don't know they are a religion and so have no checks on their intolerance. I never said there was a Uyghur genocide. Yeah, you fucking did, idiot. We can see your tweet. People can read. So now we're all the way to gaslighting. So we went from regurgitating anti.
That's in one tweet. We went to gaslighting.
Yeah, we went from imperialist propaganda to gaslighting right here, to attacking leftists like on a grand fucking scale. This is all just in this brief period of time. More gaslighting. I've never relied on Western secondary sources in all my academic work. I work from within non-Western epistemologies in all my work. My opinion on Uyghurs, a word y'all only know because of CIA propaganda, has nothing to do with CIA propaganda. Never read it, wouldn't waste my time. Which is curious. Why have you never read CIA propaganda? Because, okay, I pose the audience a question. How do you know whether or not something is CIA propaganda if you've never read it? I'll tell you why. Either our friend Butch here is either very ignorant, I would argue too ignorant to be the vice president of a possible future political party, or you're fucking lying. And worse off, you're bad at it. Or, actually, I'll insert a third option as well. This is all deliberate because the reason why you're doing this with such curious timing is you are trying to tank your party because you don't actually want them to progress forward. You don't actually want them to get 5%. That's the option I'm leaning towards, because he could have done all of this shit at any point in time. He decides to do it weeks before an election. And shit, we'll go back to that tweet. I'll show y'all. Like the amount of people who are just like saying like, you lost my vote. Just when I thought the Green Party was legit. Red flag, another deep state spook. There's a comment. Thought you were slick throwing Uyghurs in there. Bruh, don't out yourself as a CIA agent next time. You're a CIA student. Like, just think of the amount of support you just completely farted into your underwear on.
We're 2 weeks away. Just 2 weeks away from the election.
He's doing this 2 weeks away.
2 weeks away. You could have just said nothing.
Yeah, Uyghurs by the Uyghurs. Are you trolling? Are you trolling for Mike Pompeo endorsement? And again,
we have to get the Cheneys on our side. We need a big tent. If we want 5% big tent, we need to get the Cheneys in.
By the way, while he's saying this, Danny Haifong is over there right now, like
just roasting
showing people to their face that it's like what people are telling you is false, and I'm showing you this. Look at it. I'm going to talk to people now. Uyghur genocide, what it's like on the streets of Urumqi, Xinjiang. Oh my God. Like,
see a mosque. I can see a mosque right here. When you hear this kind of sound at the background, it means like the local people are dancing, and I want to go join them. I want to go join them to dance.
Yeah, like I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry. The worst thing about liberalism is how humoring you people is seen as the default position of life. Liberal gibberish. It's just all this, y'all. It's all this, folks. It's just pages of pages. It's pages upon pages of just people dropping their support for the party, just in rapid fashion. Look how much this is. It doesn't stop. This is just page after page. Just it's endless. It is complete endless. You got played. Look at this. Voting PSL now. Like, people, he just fucked all of the energy that they spent building this entire sequence. And it doesn't even stop there. Because just in case we didn't do enough damage here, you got Jason Call. It's happening again. Knock it off. Leftists.
That's not what's happening. That's clearly not what's happening. You're getting correct. It's an academic getting corrected and not having the hubris to accept any sort of correction because I have to be the right person and I have to be moral. Because this is what being on the left means. It's virtue signaling and shitting out, farting out. I'm a better person than you on the internet all the time. That's what it basically is. That's what it boils down to. It's like a virtue signal contest of who can be the most virtuous and righteous person on the internet. And if that means, sometimes eating up the imperial agenda and boofing it up the ass, then that's what it's going to be. That's what it is.
I'm going to call it. I'm sorry, guys. There's no other way to look at this. Like, I get if you make one tweet and it's stupid and people correct you, but doubling, tripling, quadrupling down. And then, by the way, Butch also blocked like a fuckload of people.
Yeah.
And there's people I know reaching out to me being like, he blocked me. What the hell? Like, I was supporting him. On top of that, after doubling and tripling, quadrupling down, now you and your other Green Party human are waging some kind of war against leftists. I'm sorry, the people who identify as leftists, those are pretty much your main base of support. Okay, these are people who do not want to vote for Kamala Harris. They're not going to vote for Zion Dawn. You were their path forward, and now you're pulling this shit weeks before an election. I'm sorry, I'm calling cap. This wasn't just a oopsie. This wasn't just a harmless gaffe, because he was corrected by tons of people, well-meaning supporters on that thread. On that thread, tons of well-meaning supporters providing ample evidence to the contrary, trying to educate them. He doubles down, he triples down, he blocks people, he turns off replies. He deliberately does everything he can to alienate these people. And then in a concerted effort, the leadership here just turns around and wages some kind of war on the very base of people that are most likely to vote for you. I'm sorry. I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit forever. I'm never going to stop calling bullshit. And this guy, again, being very based. I love this guy. He's not only handsome, but he's right about everything. Oh, there it is. We can safely segue along to the second segment of this, which is the rise of Green MAGA. Now, this happened to me, and I found it very curious because I assumed that there would just be a general kind of denouncing of Butch Ware's behavior, because I assumed that most Green Party supporters were like me. They just didn't like anti-imperialist propaganda. They just wanted an option to vote forward, to vote against genocide and to vote for an actual better country. I thought that was all of them. But it turns out there is a Green MAGA out there who's every bit, maybe not every bit, but pretty close to for some people, as cultish as the red MAGA and the blue MAGA. We have Green MAGA, and it's shit like this. Now, I'm pretty sure this person's a bot, but it's like, what supporters? A bunch of racist white people? That's ridiculous. Many new Greens are black, like me, which... Sorry. This screams, how do you do, fellow kids? Is this Jason Call on a burner? We do not take kindly to seeing white leftists attacking a black male Muslim scholar for speaking out against oppression. Hashtag Steinware 2024. First off, they're speaking out against lying. That's all.
Asian, yeah, I mean,
that's all anybody's talking about. They're like, dude, why are you regurgitating imperialist propaganda?
And they're being xenophobic.
Oh, that's I'll get to that.
That's xenophobia. It's straight up xenophobia. That's what it is. And if they don't want to admit that, I mean, like it's like no, it's like it's like it's like xenophobia for xenophobia, but like it's acceptable because I don't know.
Should have known this was the plan last time. Call flipped out like an over cocaine day trader on Twitter.
Yeah, no, he's kind of a nutty too. He's a little bit of a nut job.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you don't got to do this. Well, look, guys. At least he kind of calls it right. He's an unapologetic agitator. This is pretty agitating, so I can't really shit on him for it. But like, I'll switch over real quick. I'll switch over because I made a very curious tweet, and it's gonna be, hey, thanks for joining us, milady. I'm gonna just show this tweet, and this tweet is pretty fucking glorious. I'm not gonna lie. Just gonna go find it real quick.
What does this mean? I'm a crab too, 612, 626. Dude, and restream, that's the other thing that bothers me. It changed like all of the colors.
I mean, as long as it
doesn't run the fucking thing.
Yeah, but Greg, we're still going fast, okay?
I get
That's
that.
what matters.
Listen.
Oh shit, we forgot hold on. I gotta fix this. I am so sorry, guys. Yeah. Now
we're going fast. Now
we're going fast as fuck. All right, just give me a second. God damn, I shit post a lot. Okay, 1 sec. Hang in there. Please don't leave us. Okay. Now, this is a very interesting tweet I made. Because I made this, excuse me. I made this tweet after noticing a lot of the back and forth on that thread. Now, a lot of people were on the right side of this. But, like, look at this kind of... Look at these kind of replies when it comes to like any criticism of the Green Party. You lying sack of shit. Why do you think you can say things which anyone can quickly verify is not true, but expect to be true? That you subhuman sack of shit. Like, they've got like weird bots. They got weird bots that are being like straight up bullying. We got this weird dude that has his profile picture as a Facebook avatar, which is already very cringed. The reaction to Butch Ware's tweet over the weekend would beg to differ. Actually, that's precisely what I'm referring to. This guy sat here and fought with me. A bunch of them. Like, they all just flooded in and just started shit. And this whole post is filled with people. Like, gotta give a shout out to Shadows Not Shade. He called it earlier. Look at this. No, it isn't. You're just another lib trying to plant seeds that don't exist. We see you. And I'm like, thank you for being yet another Twitter person to show up and prove my point for me. This feels forced. This guy's been melting down on me for like 2 fucking days. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. It keeps fucking going. He just will not fucking stop. It's just like, it's... If you guys can find it, go look at this tweet and see for yourselves. It is Sean is usually on point, so a lot of people. What the fuck are you talking about? Why does it sound like retaliatory lip shit? See, that's the ironic part about this. A lot of these people will call you a liberal while behaving exactly like liberals. Because I've seen more posts than I can count from certain indie media types that I'm too polite not to call out directly, saying basically, guys, we just got to swallow our criticism and just vote. Okay, just vote for them, and we'll save the criticism for later. Maybe we'll talk about it later, kiddo. It's the same energy. It's the blue MAGA.
We'll talk about it later.
Later, kiddo. It's the same blue MAGA energy. You're seeing it, and this is green MAGA. This is this green MAGA shit from these people. And we're just, you know, a ton of these people who are melting the fuck down and just starting shit. And a lot of people a lot of the comrades are 100% on our side. Who the fuck's this guy? Do you know him? I don't trust him. I don't like his face.
Looks like a dick.
I need to see proof. Been saying this for over a year now. Yeah, I mean, we're late to the party. And of course, you got one that has to mention the ACB for some reason. I don't know why. But I digress. I got more examples of this too. It's just very, very fucking weird. That's the wrong post. Give me 1 second here. So this is that account from earlier. Look at this. Uyghurs are treated just like Palestinians. Uyghurs are treated just like Palestinians. Uyghurs are treated just like Palestinians. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but they have fucking like bots. This is like copy pasta. Look at this. Look at this right here. Look at this shit. Look at this shit right fucking here. Look at this. I am going to show you. We are going to zoom the fuck in. Look at this shit. Okay? Look at this. Why does the Green Party have accounts like this pulling this shit? What the fuck is happening?
No, she is not, Chris. She is not. She is not.
Like this is fucking weird. No, Chris, she has not responded to it. She's been a little oddly silent. If there were any opportunity to speak out against this and kind of change the narrative, now's the fucking time. If someone in your party makes an oopsie, if someone in your party shits the bed, like now's the time to speak up and be like, oh my God, sorry, just for the record, we've heard your feedback. We are going to look into it. So sorry, etc., etc. But they're silent as a grave. The only thing I've heard come out of the Greens is shitting on leftists and then moving swiftly along like nothing happened. Which is a great way to essentially tank any fucking movement or forward support that you've received. Any at all. Anyway. In closing, Green MAGA is now a thing. And that's why we here at Indie News Network.
It's been a thing.
It has been a thing.
At least like 2 election cycles. It's been a thing.
I have personally kind of held my tongue a little bit just because I did support the work Jill's been doing. I like there being a visible party out there that shows there at least a slight alternative to the duopoly. But again, here's my criticism. If I can't tell people to support a party that will not support itself. I can't tell people to support a party that is going to pull self-sabotage bullshit like this weeks away from an election and be completely inflexible in at least trying to win voters over. I never thought I'd have to tell this to Green Party supporters, but hey, Green MAGA, nobody's entitled to votes. That includes Green Party. Doesn't matter what party it is, you got to earn people's votes. It goes for the DNC, it goes for the Republicans, and yes, it goes for the Greens too. You have to earn people's votes. And they're doing the opposite of that. They're doing everything they can to drive people away. And I have a theory about this. It's something I like to call revolutionary containment. You see, and again, this is just a theory, but it's something I've thought about in my think meat. If you're presented with two options and they're both dog shit, and they're both too similar to be like lesser evil, which I think that's where we're at when it comes to liberals versus conservatives in Canada, Democrats versus Republicans. I think these parties are so similar you can't even argue lesser evil anymore because they're just evil. And it's like evil with different like vibes to the evil. Once that happens, people will inevitably start talking about other means of change than participating in the voting system. Now, what is a great way to siphon all of that revolutionary energy away? Well, it's to present a third option that objectively looks way better. A third option that makes those two other parties look like absolute ass crackers. So you get all this energy and all these people invested, and you get them in your movement. And then what do? You sabotage it. You say absolutely everything you know they're going to fight against. And then instead of doing any kind of damage control or at least acknowledging their perspective, at least going, maybe I'll educate myself, or yeah, I'll take this into consideration. I'll do some more research. They triple and quadruple down. And then they start attacking leftists and they go into this whole spiral where they shut out all input because now that's what they're doing. They have turned off, Butch has closed off any input from anyone who isn't like vetted and on his side. He's blocking people. He's doing everything he can to push people away. And you just keep doing this every time that people correctly realize that, you know, these parties aren't worth fighting for anymore. Maybe I'll think of direct action. Maybe I'll organize. Maybe I'll start considering I know stake. I know. But the reason why I'm saying this is a lot of people haven't come to that realization. They have not. A lot of people. I see them every day. I talk to them every day. I see them in real life every day too. So, in closing, that's why we here at INN, Indie News Network, and we here at Politically Homeless, which as we know is tomorrow's news today, are proudly post-electoralism. That's not post-duopoly, because that is still entertaining a system which is first past the post voting in a bourgeois electoralism world. We recognize that this doesn't work. It hasn't gotten us anywhere. It's only gotten us poorer and more in shit with the rest of the world. Yes, thank you, Indy. We are none of the above, and you should be too. And don't worry, we're going to spend a lot of time pointing out all of the avenues you can take to actually bring about some real change. Not just sit there, write some shit on the ballot like a good little vote pig and hope the magic vote fairy is going to fart out some healthcare for you. It's not going to happen. Okay? We've been past this for a hot minute. Okay? I was just saying this to Indy when he talked to me about how much he loves Trotsky. I love you, buddy. I'm gonna get shit for that one. I digress. The point I'm trying to make is I can't support a party that is going to not support itself. and furthermore is going to do everything it can to sabotage any shot it had. I firmly believe that the Green Party did have a shot at 5%. After this madness, I don't think they have a shot now. I'm sorry. The reaction to this was insane. And the fact that Jill's so silent about it only confirms my suspicions. And I hate to be one of those people. Who's like, man, maybe some of these like progressives, champagne socialists, Hassan Piker types had a point about Jill, but I can't take you seriously if you're doing the shit so close to an election. It's suicide. Can you imagine if Donald Trump out of nowhere was just like, I fucking love communism. It's based, red-pilled. I love Xi. Xi has a good vision. We're gonna make America like China. We're gonna make it like China. It's gonna be great. And then when people freak out, he's just like, I hate Republicans. They're brain dead. They're stupid. They're so stupid. Like, that would be the MAGA version of this. Or the Democrat version would, well, it would pretty much be exactly what they're doing right now. They're being like, Cheney and a million Republicans love us. Also, corporations are up our ass. Please vote. But that's Democrats. They've always been the best at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Another point I'm going to make, by the way, guys, I'm not vote shaming here. Okay? I'm not vote shaming. If you're going to vote anyway, if your plan is to vote for Jill Stein. Vote for Claudia. Toss a vote.
If I was in New York, I would vote for Claudia. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
That's what, and I would vote for, if I was in New York, I would vote for Claudia because she's on the ballot. I would vote for, I'm in New Jersey. I'm probably still voting for Jill because I don't give a shit. I voted for her in 2016, so it's just nostalgia for me at this point. At this point, it's literally just nostalgia, and I'm not doing it for any purpose other than like, it's like walking in a box on election day. It's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah, nobody's vote shaming here. What we're saying is we need to start thinking past electoralism. We need to start thinking outside of this. Voting is going to somehow result in shit getting better for you. Guys, I love you so much, but it is delusion to think so at this point. This should be the final straw for you. If you're still undecided, if you're still clinging to some glimmer of hope, what the Greens just fucking did here should be the final nail in the coffin. Go vote for them if you like. Okay, I'm never going to say Jill has shitty policies because they're better than anything else America's offering, on that level at least. But I can't support a party that's going to sabotage itself. I can't support a party that's not going to support itself. I can't support a party that is going to just expect votes because people are pissed off at the two-party system. You still have to earn it. You have to demonstrate to people that you're at least taking this somewhat seriously. And shit like this, I'm sorry. If this is causing people cognitive dissonance, I'm sorry, but I went through it too. I just went through it earlier than you did. Do not make fun of my Canadiosity. Whoa. What came out of my head? What?
Canadiosity.
Canadiosity. That is absolutely not a word. Holy shit, that is so not a word. That is the most not a word.
That's the criticism you're gonna get, right? Like, oh, you're just a fucking Canadian. What are you talking about? What are you talking
Listen,
about?
guys, we got the same shit up here with the NDP, okay?
Five
we got
eyes.
the exact same shit. Also, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but if your country gets better, so does ours. We're neighbors. We're massive trading partners. We need each other. You need our psychology majors to go work for your right-wing platforms. Clean your room. But I digress. That's what you can look forward to here on INN, and that's what you can look forward to with Politically Homeless moving forward. You know, we'll still do some coverage of breaking news here and there, but for the most part, I think it's much more useful to you and to your material conditions that we start covering things that directly relate to you and not this false hamster wheel that the rich and powerful have you stuck on, where they magically delude you into thinking if you just check off the right box on a piece of paper every 4 to 8 years, somehow your life's going to get better. It's not. Go look at your whole life. There's been Democrats. There's been Republicans. They switched. There's been plenty of changing of the guard. Same up here in Canada. There's been liberal. There's been conservative. Same changing of the guard. Our lives have only gotten shittier. Compare your life to how your parents had it. Remember how your parents owned a house and a car, and if you were lucky enough, a fucking cottage? Remember how they could afford everything? Remember how one of your parents could afford to stay home while the other one worked? Do you remember that? Maybe you're older, and you remember when minimum wage meant that was the minimum amount of money you needed to raise a fucking family. Playing in this game has gotten us nowhere from okay to barely surviving. And if we keep along that hamster wheel, pretty soon we're going to be in little cages that are only let out to do 8 to 10 hours of labor every day and then stuffed back in the cages. And we'll probably have like some kind of cow brand situation going on. And a chip in our head that's going to explode thanks to fucking Captain Lego over there in Twitterville. He's Captain Lego now. Elon Musk, I'm calling Captain Lego. I can't explain it. But yeah, where's that one tweet? I got that joke. Where's the tweet? Hold on. There was a tweet. Well, now I completely forgot I was talking about, so sorry about that. Either way, we need to move beyond this scam, because this is what it is. It's a scam. And it doesn't matter if it's duopoly. It doesn't matter if it's third party. Oh, we just need to get under 5%. What does it matter if we never get there, guys? Because any time like this election where they might have gotten to 5%, they just turn around and alienate fucking everybody in spectacular fashion. And then just like make sure for good measure that they do it hard enough. Anyway, Greg has informed me that he's got to go. The rash is spread.
Yeah, I don't have to right now. I'm just saying that.
Oh, okay.
To wrap up, because we're hitting 1:30. I have so much shit to do that I didn't do today. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I gotta take care of shit.
Well, I just remember, like you told me just now, the rash is spread to your ass cheeks, so you might want to take care of that. That sounds.
It's in the goon. It's right in the goon.
Oh no, not
you know what the
there.
goon is?
Is that another word for taint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taint.
We all have a word for it.
Yeah.
I'm just vibing out to this music. This music is the best thing that's ever happened.
It's pretty tight. It's pretty tight, actually.
Yeah, it's like.
But I'm having a lot of shit happening today at once. So.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Well, oh fuck! I remember now. I can't find the tweet, but somebody mentioned Tim Pool quitting his show because he's getting married. But I heard from another source it was because he wanted to make a family or some shit.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. I do have that. I do have that pulled up. We could watch that.
We can cover it real quick, or if you want to go.
I haven't watched it. That's why I wanna watch it. Like here. I have not seen this yet. This is breaking.
We are well off. It is not a financial thing. We make a lot of money, but piece by piece, the structure becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until it becomes impossible to manage. You know, I would never call out anybody personally or
You should.
individually. And, I would just say that, like, compounding, I don't know, laziness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that builds up over time, which adds more and more workload to, you know, me and Allison, to get to the point where we're just like, can't do it. We do really well. And, you know, the problem is, without a proper CEO who isn't hosting the show, it's not possible. Like, I think we have like 30-something employees. And so, you know, the conversations I've had with family is like, I am under no illusions that I have the capability to make this company what it could be. And I hear all these things, no, Tim, you're wrong. Oh, come on. We've been trying to get a coffee shop open for 2 years. Yeah. Clearly, I cannot do it. I skateboard every day.
Because you have to skateboard?
Yeah, if we can't make cameras and a computer work, and despite all previous shows we've had, there's not a single person here who can make sure that either the studio is operating or secondary studio is operating. We've gotten to a point in the company where everyone's kind of just kicked their feet up and said, I'm doing what I need to be doing. Yeah. And then that just means I'm Sisyphus pushing the rock up. The problem is people are sitting on the rock. We have this awesome property. We have skate parks.
Oh, man.
We have
so
Willy Wonka's
sad.
Candy Factory or whatever, chocolate factory. Why can't we get people to just do something? Again, like, not calling anybody. I don't want to insult anyone directly, but it's just seeing someone stand around do nothing. And then the challenge is, in order to make this show operate, I have to work what is effectively 16 hours a day. So I haven't had it's fair to say, weekday sunset in 4 years. You know, like just through the window or something, or now that we're in the new studio, there's no windows at all. Wow, what if I finished work at a normal time like everybody else and just, I don't know, hopped in the car and went down to the river and looked at frogs?
Yeah.
If I show up in the morning and I do my morning show, I get to give a portion of the work that I do to them so that they can.
The bulb.
Is this your wife?
I don't know. I don't know the details of this. I'm gonna give my take though, just based on what he said there.
Was there ever a wife reveal?
I don't think so.
He's not gonna do that, right? I guess.
Dude, a dude like that's not married. Okay,
That's what I'm saying. Is it made up? I bet it's a blow-up doll. It's a blow-up doll, right?
Well, I don't know if this is implying like he needs to go find a family, like he wants to go.
Apparently, he's getting married to Allison. He's been in a relationship with her for a while.
Okay. I don't know. I don't follow Tim Pool's life. I just assumed.
I don't either. I'm just like uncovering a lot of this actually.
I just assumed he lived in a basement filled with about 2 feet of water, and he just kind of collected skulls. Here's the thing. Just based on my take of, I don't know if you guys are reading it the same way as I am. This feels like something you're going to say before you fire a fuckload of your staff. That's what I'm getting from this. This is what you say before you lay a bunch of people off. It could just be a fuck my employees rant. That could be it. I could be like, I'm sorry. Like, if I were one of his employees, I would feel like shit. I would probably quit. Because he essentially was just like, everybody's lazy. I work all the time, and so does Allison, and nobody else wants to do anything. I'm sorry. If I owned a business, I would never fucking do that to my workers. Then again, if I owned a business, I wouldn't be able to do that to my workers because they would also own the company. Because if I own a business, I would make it a fucking co-op day one.
Yeah.
So they're lazy. That's our problem, not my problem. But again, if it were a worker co-op, nobody would be lazy because they would all directly benefit from the company succeeding, which is how all workplaces should be. But we'll get there one day. One way or another, we will get there one day. Yeah, what's your feeling on it, Gregorino? What do you think? What do you make of that? Like, what do you think his angle is for taking down the show and just doing his I don't know, whatever.
People are gonna say he's running away with the Putin bucks, but I mean, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. Probably
the Putin bucks.
Yeah. I do gotta get going now, though.
That's okay.
Show up. Let's get.
We had a fun as hell show. Thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back Thursday, probably at 6. But you know, tentative. Sometimes we decide to be a little spicy and do it later at night. Give Greg some time for his various lower region maladies to heal up, if you will, and it gives my rabies a chance to calm down as well, which is always great. But yeah, be sure to check out, follow the network, subscribe to the network if you haven't already. Please follow us, because we have our own YouTube channel now. It's Homeless Politically. Is that it? I'm terrible. What's our YouTube at? Homeless Politically?
Homeless Politically.
At homeless, youtube.com/@homelesspolitically. Please subscribe there. Again, INN is like one strike away from sinking. And that's right. Tomorrow night, INN News will be a clip show, so you can look forward to that as well. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe you.
There you go. Trying to build that one.
Like Canadianosity or whatever the fuck I said. But yeah, and aside from that, check out the rest of the shows on our channel. Check out our schedule. After next week, I'll be back with next week of the Maple Files. In case you guys didn't notice, Yeti is finally back, and he's doing Minecraft IRL. It's fucking incredible. He's already got a base for his bunkie and shit. Oh my god, he's living the life I want to live. So, again, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Just some closing points. We are now post-electoralism, so we can leave the vote pigging aside. Do not be a vote piggy. Okay? The age of the vote pig is over. And yeah, keep questioning everything. And as of this point, labels are really fucking bad. And support us on Ko-fi, I'm terrible again, and Cash App.
I didn't even know we were on there.
In case you want to send us some cheddar, because we got operating expenses. Mostly it's cream for Greg, but you know, we got other bills we gotta figure out. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in, and have a good night, everybody. Mwah.
Good night.